This meeting to order. Good afternoon. I'm Joanna French, and I'm chair of the Westwood School Committee, and I'd like to call this June 10th, 2026 Westwood School Committee meeting to order. And I hereby grant permission to the Westwood Media Center and anyone else who wishes to record this meeting. Thank you to the Westwood Media Center and Evan, especially for live streaming tonight's meeting and recording for later viewing. I'll begin by opening the school committee meeting and calling the roll. When you hear your name, please let us know you're present. Maya Plotkin.
Here.
Katie Willett.
Here as well.
And Nick Vidnovic.
Here.
And I am present as well. Thank you. Let the record reflect that we have quorum. Also present from the Westwood Public Schools are Tim Pivovar, superintendent, and I believe Alyssa. Is Alyssa part of it?
Alyssa was not able to join us this
afternoon.
afternoon.
I'm sorry. Of course she wasn't. So we have Tim tonight. Thank you, Tim, for joining. I'd now like to invite Marianne LeBlanc Cummings to open her meeting.
Thank you very much, Joanna. I am Marianne LeBlanc, chair of the Westwood Select Board. I will hereby call our meeting to order with roll call. Joe Previtera.
Here.
Aaron Sibley. You would just indicate that you're here, Aaron.
Here. Sorry, my connection's a little glitchy. Sorry.
Quite all right. Thank you. I am here as well, obviously, and also with us is our town administrator, Connor Reed, and Tish Healy, administrative assistant to the town administrator. We're very pleased, and town council, Pat Ahern. We're very pleased to be here tonight with all of you. Thank you.
Thanks, Marianne. So we're here tonight to discuss and take action on a recommendation made by the Westwood Human Rights Task Force that we issue a joint statement to address the hate speech in Westwood and issue a call to action. So I'd like to begin by giving just a brief bit of background and context for our conversation. Over the course of the school year, we have discovered several instances of vandalism and hate speech within our schools or on our school property, including anti-Semitic symbols, including swastikas, as well as racist and anti-Black slurs, homophobic language, and misogynist messages. In response, we have established the Westwood Community Coalition to Combat Hate Speech, and we've invited residents, families, students, educators, faith leaders, and community organizations to join this coalition. This coalition has been established to broaden the conversation beyond our schools and bring the community together to address these challenges. And as part of that work, we're grateful to the Human Rights Task Force for the recommendation that we, the school committee and the select board, issue a statement to condemn these acts and invite the community to join our work. And I'm grateful to the Human Rights Task Force for this recommendation and their work helping to draft this statement. So this statement serves as an acknowledgement of what has taken place and a promise to work harder and to work together to ensure that every member of our community feels safe, valued, and respected. It's a touchstone for how we move forward. It's not going to solve everything, but it's a step in the right direction. So with that, I'd like to just read the statement for those who are listening or join the conversation via Zoom. So I'll start there. And the issue is dated, it will be dated for the date that we approve it, hopefully tonight. Dear Westwood community, over the course of this past year, our community has experienced at least 5 separate incidents of hate speech within Westwood Public Schools. Vandalism discovered at both the high school and middle school have uncovered anti-Semitic symbols, including swastikas, as well as racist and anti-Black slurs, homophobic language, and misogynist messages. 2 of the incidents of race and anti-Semitism vandalism appeared following Holocaust survivors who spoke with students at the middle school, which is especially concerning. It has also been reported that students have used racist and homophobic slurs. Each of these acts has been addressed promptly by the school administrators and where appropriate by Westwood Police Department. In some cases, investigations remain active, and we are working in close coordination to determine both immediate responses and long-term proactive measures to prevent future incidents. In addition, racism, anti-Semitism, homophobia, and other incidents of bigotry have been experienced and observed in our community more broadly. The Westwood Select Board and the Westwood School Committee, in their roles as elected representatives of the people of Westwood, unequivocally condemn these acts. Racism, anti-Semitism, homophobia, Islamophobia, sexism, and hate in any form have no place in Westwood, not in our schools, not in our neighborhoods, and not in our community. We recognize the deep harm that these incidents cause to families, students, educators, staff, and every member of our community, and we will not minimize that harm or allow it to be normalized. We are committed to identifying those responsible and ensuring accountability and restorative justice and repair. Equally important, we are committed to the sustained work of education, dialogue, and partnership that builds a safer, more welcoming, and more inclusive Westwood for everyone. Hate symbols and speech are not a one-time problem to be managed. It's a challenge that requires ongoing vigilance, honest conversation, and the active participation of every resident. To meet this moment, we are calling on residents, families and students, educators and faith leaders, and community organizations to participate in our newly established Westwood Community Coalition to Combat Hate Speech. This coalition is being convened by the Westwood Public Schools with membership and responsibilities shared across all sectors of our community, and with the goal of bringing our community together to support community members who have been targeted by and affected by hate, strengthen education and awareness within our schools and throughout the Westwood community, develop a proactive strategies to prevent future incidents, respond to hate in a restorative and educational manner, build a culture that prevents bigotry, bias, and hate speech in our community spaces, and ensure that Westwood is a place where every person, regardless of race, ethnicity, spiritual and political beliefs, gender identity, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, physical and neurological abilities, and any other aspect of identity feels safe, seen, and valued. We invite every member of our community to stand with us because a unified community is only built when we listen to one another, we support one another, and we work together. If you would like to join this ambitious effort, please email Westwood Coalition at westwood.k12.ma.us. We are committed to ensuring that every member of our community feels safe, valued, and respected. By working together, we can strengthen our culture and build a more connected community for all. With shared resolve, the Westwood School Committee and the Westwood Select Board. And with that, I'd like to invite my colleagues to discuss this statement. Anyone would like to share any comments? You're welcome to now.
Well,
Nick, I see you come off mute.
I don't mind being first. I think it was well done, Joanne.
Joe, if I may, I'm as organizing my committee, I want to invite my committee members to speak first, and then I think Mary Ann will give you the chance. I'm sorry I didn't share that that organization beginning.
Fill the silence.
Yeah, Nick, please go ahead.
Sure. I don't have a lot to add, Joanne. I appreciate the work that went into drafting this, and certainly aligned with the goals. I think that, as you said, ultimately what matters here is going to be the follow-up that comes from this, and some of the specifics that comes from what the committee is going to be working on. So I think that this I don't know that if any of us believes that this statement alone will have tremendous amount of impact, but I think that it certainly is something I think we all believe, and I'm supportive of for that reason.
Thank you, Nick. Katie, I saw your hand raised.
Hi, Katie Willett here. I just wanted to say that I think that this is a great statement to be putting out, especially given everything that's been taking place, and in timing with the Coalition to Combat Hate Speech. After sitting in on the sessions for that coalition, I'd say that there is a lot of work to be done, echoing Nick's statements, but I think that this is a great way to get the community to be involved. This is not just a school issue, so thank you for crafting that with the Human Rights Task Force. Thanks.
Thank you, Katie. Would anyone else like to comment?
Hi, it's Maya.
Maya?
No, I echo Nick and Katie's comments. I am hopeful that this statement will get out into the community. I realize we're late in the year, and people might have one foot out the door for vacation. But I do think this is really important work, and it really, as Katie mentioned, is community-wide. The school might be sort of organizing it under the coalition, but it really is something that the entire community needs to work on together. So hopefully we can stress that aspect of it and get as many people as possible this summer to join the coalition and do this important work.
Thank you, Maya. Anyone else before I hand it over to Marianne? All right, seeing none, Marianne, I invite you to invite the select board to discuss. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to especially thank you for your leadership on this issue. Thank the entire school committee for their leadership, the superintendent and the entire district on this very important issue, which, as Joanna, Maya, and others just said, impacts our entire community. I'd also like to thank all of the members of the Human Rights Task Force, which I'm very proud to liaise with, for their service and for their recommendation of this statement to our boards. I think it is a very important statement for us to make jointly as a reaffirmation of our values. And on behalf of the select board, we are very grateful for our partnership with you, the school committee. And as the statement indicates, we are committed to the work of building a safer, more welcoming, and more inclusive Westwood. I fully support the statement, as does the town administration. And with that, I will open this up to my colleagues for their comments.
I think the statement is excellent. I just have a few things to possibly consider adding. And when I read it, I just was wondering if we want to identify who has actually been appointed to the coalition so far. It says, you know, we have a newly established Westwood Community Coalition to combat hate speech. It might be helpful to community members who are reading that to know. So far, you know, that's made up of the following people who have stepped forward, whether they're volunteers or where they have some representatives of the school or whatnot. I think that might be helpful. Who is, if there's a chair, or just sort of list who's involved, because people might not want to step forward, but they may feel comfortable reaching out to one of those individuals. So just to think about whether you want to list the names of some of the leadership of that coalition. And the other thought that I had that you might want to consider adding is, what has the coalition done so far? Like I'm aware, I think they've met twice so far, and maybe suggest, you know, we're asking people to join, and what are we actually asking them to do? Or is there specific things we're looking for? Like, are there certain committees where we're looking for certain people who want to, you know, what is the structure of this new coalition, and are there specific roles that we're looking to fill? Or, you know, maybe just be a little more specific for how people can get involved, because I think a lot of people will think, oh, I support this, but might not see a spot for themselves in that. So anyway, just to be a little more specific in terms of who's on it. And maybe I've heard maybe there are a couple of subcommittees that are on it, sort of breaking down the tasks that need to be done and what people might be willing to do. And also the last part is sort of, you know, when are they planning to meet again? And is this a commitment over the summer? Just a little bit more specifics about who's involved and the roles that we're looking to fill, and sort of the expectations of somebody who might want to get involved. That's just something, it's just some feedback. But I love it. I mean, I think I'm very, very happy, and I'm really happy that we're meeting, you know, now and issuing a statement now. I think it's really important.
Joe, anything you want to add?
No, other than my premature comment before, I'll stick to it. I think it was very well done, and I like Erin's comments. That's it.
Thank you very much. Madam Chair, I wonder, vis-a-vis Erin's comments, whether there is a web page that perhaps includes some of that information that can be provided to residents on that.
Yeah, thanks. And thank you. And thank you, Erin, for those great questions. So if I can address a couple of things, I will say in earlier versions of this document, we actually had listed the leader of this coalition, who is Latifa Frank, our Director of Community Equity and Inclusion, equity, integration, and community partnerships. And we decided to take it out because it felt more appropriate to have an email or a rather generic email to direct people's interest, and then we could have a dialogue about what this might involve. For the record and for this conversation, and as is made public, we are looking, what this coalition involves is we have broken ourselves up into 4 different subcommittees. One is around community engagement, another is around education and awareness, another is around data accountability and response, and then finally it's another student group wanting to hear from students and bring their voice into the conversation. We are going to meet, each subcommittee has determined sort of a cadence to meet as appropriate throughout the summer. But I certainly would welcome anyone's involvement to the extent that they can, where they can, how they can, and however they want to, even if it's just to say, hey, I support this, keep me involved. To the question around a website or a place where this can all exist, Tim and I also spoke about that. And we are literally in the middle of migrating our website from our old platform to a new platform. And we hope to feature this content more prominently on that site, and determined that it would be better to hold just a minute until we have that new website and that new platform set up. And by setup, I mean, it's already built. We're just in beta testing right now. So we hope to build that out, put that content there, and we could have a little bit more of that detail there with, past agendas and action items, and who's involved and who's doing what, and kind of what the expectation or ways to get involved would be. I would love to include those details in the statement. I was also trying to balance, along with the Human Rights Task Force, the need to, the want to get something out before the school year ends, and also not bog it down with too much detail that might make it so long that folks sort of tune out and don't read. That said, I welcome the feedback, and I would enjoy the perspective of others to decide if that's how we want to move it forward.
Yeah,
I do see
Aaron's comment, which is, I think, a good one, which is, I think that this sort of thing, like a lot of other similar types of committees in town have websites that are, that have exactly this information, agendas and minutes and organization of subcommittees and that kind of thing on it. And I think that would be appropriate here as well. And so, if it needs to wait for a short amount of time to have that, as per the discussion at the last school committee meeting around the new website, I think that's okay. And we can probably promote that website along with the statement and whatever social blasts or whatever we might do. But I think the sooner we can have that up, the better, because ultimately, if we're trying to catalyze a broad conversation, making it easy for people to find the relevant information rather than have to sort of sift through, would be best.
Perhaps I can invite Tim to respond a little bit and let us know how quickly that may or may not be possible.
Yeah, excuse me. Thank you. I would say that in terms of a place on the website, that's probably a little bit more challenging just because of the logistics associated with that. What we could certainly do is essentially have for lack of a better phrase, like a one-page or a couple-page document that talks about the work of the coalition right now, link that as a live document without it sitting on the website somewhere, so that could be embedded within the statement. I would say I tend to agree with the comment about not putting too much detail in the body. Because if there is one immutable law, it's that the longer that something is, the less likely is that somebody's going to read it. And so I think the goal is to have the communication reach as many people as possible. And so I would be in favor. But in terms of Latif and I have actually been texting as this conversation has been going on, and certainly happy to create something that we can link into this document that is a place where people can get more information if they're looking for it, as opposed to just emailing and waiting for a response.
If that is how we move forward, in looking at the statement, if we were to, in our first instance of reference to the coalition, use that as a hyperlink to a live document with that detail, would we be comfortable, moving and advancing this conversation forward, and possibly taking action tonight on that? Or would we want to see those changes in real time, reconvene to take action on that at a later date?
I will say that I'm in favor of taking action tonight on the statement. I will add that, as you alluded to, Madam Chair, the Human Rights Task Force has been working on this assiduously for some number of days with lots of input from various community members, and I appreciate the hard work that went into this. And I think we all want this to be a statement that people will actually read all the way through. So I do think providing that information via a hyperlink when that can be accomplished would be helpful. But I understand that there is some urgency in wanting to get this out before the end of the school year. And I support that. So I'm hopeful that we can vote on the statement as drafted tonight.
Or amended with a kind of a placeholder live link that we then can update between now and when we post it. I welcome like kind of the logistics of that, and if that's allowed, kind of looking at you, Pat, if we're able to vote on something without that link being present in the letter, and also if that is amenable to the other members here.
It's certainly fine with me. I mean, I think it makes sense, and I don't see any objection to whether it's. Yeah, I think what you suggested would be great, Joanna, just having that first reference to the coalition be a link to, ultimately if it's a website, and in the short run, it can be a Google Doc or whatever you're thinking of, facilitate communication. I think that's perfectly fine from my standpoint.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's May again. I think that's fine too. I would just say, depending on the format, you might want to include the full website address. I just don't know how this is going to be distributed, and sometimes those hyperlinks don't work when you actually get the document out the door. The other thing is you might want to, on the town website, include something where you could link back to that website as well, because people won't necessarily go to the school website to look for it. They might also go to the town, especially since this is a joint statement. So maybe there's some place on the town where you can link to this coalition website as well.
Sorry, I'm driving, so if I'm cutting in line, I apologize. That's perfectly doable on our end. I think that the suggestion of getting the statement done tonight and just having the reference to the Westwood Coalition be a clickable URL to an updatable shared document that the school administration has is great. And then we can take that and share it as a news item on the front page of the town website. Again, sensitive to making sure that the formatting is such that it's not like a printed to PDF where you click the URL and it goes nowhere. So we're happy to do that. And I appreciate all of your work across the board on drafting this, as well as the work of the Human Rights Task Force, and agree with the sensitivity to timing that I think it's appropriate if you take the letter as written and just insert the hyperlink. That's a great way to keep it moving. Thanks.
Thank you, Connor.
Katie here. I just also think that obviously I think the process of this is great. I think getting a website up is great as well. And just reaching out to the people, the members of the subcommittees, and seeing if they would be willing to put their name to it as well, because that would make it more relatable in my eyes. So I think that'd be a great addition to that as well.
Yeah, thank you, Katie. I think it would be, I think we could, versus sharing the names of everybody who's involved in the coalition, which I'm happy to share is, more than 20 people, more than 25 people, depending on how you count it. But I wonder if the leaders, the chairs of each of the subcommittees, plus, Tim and Latifa as leading this would be appropriate. That way there are some faces and names, and we can even in the link document include our own contact information so folks can reach out directly to either the chairs of the subcommittee or to Latifa or Tim directly. All right. Any other things to discuss, either Madam Chair from your side or from mine? Oh, I think Marianne, you're muted.
Sorry. I think the motion could be perhaps to adopt the statement with a hyperlink to be added to the coalition page. And that should probably cover what we've been discussing.
Mhm.
Am I correct, Mr. Ahern?
I believe you are, Madam Chairman.
Thank you.
And then I'd like to make a motion then for the select board to vote to adopt the joint statement addressing hate speech in Westwood and a call to action, posting it with a hyperlink with additional details about the composition of the coalition.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call, Joe,
Aye.
Aaron,
Aye.
I vote aye as well.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will entertain a motion from the school committee. I can entertain a motion to vote to approve the joint statement of addressing hate speech in Westwood and a call to action, amended with a link to the coalition details, composition details, and the chairs, subcommittee chair memberships.
So moved.
Second.
I hear Katie and Maya. The motion has been moved and seconded. I'll take a roll call. Maya Plotkin,
Yes.
Katie Willett,
Yes.
Nick Vindevik,
Yes.
and I am a yes as well. The motion carries. All right. With that, is there any new business we'd like to address? Seeing none, I entertain a motion to close the school committee meeting. Oh, wait, I think Mary Ann, you should close first.
Certainly.
Excuse me.
First, I just want to thank you again, Madam Chair. Thank all members of the school committee, Tim, Connor, the Human Rights Task Force. This is, I think, a very important step in the right direction. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn the select board meeting.
I make a motion to adjourn the select board meeting.
Second.
Roll call, Joe,
Aye.
Aaron,
Aye.
I vote aye as well. We are
Thank you.
adjourned.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I echo your appreciation. I'm thankful to the Select Board, the Human Rights Task Force, the members joined here tonight, coming together on such short notice to move this project along. I appreciate the support that we've received across the community and specifically from town leadership. So thank you, Madam Chair. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
And the motion carries. I will, as I think I need to adjourn, I need to roll call, Maya,
Yes.
Katie Willett,
Yes.
Nick Vindevik,
Yes.
and I'm a yes, we are adjourned. Thank you all for joining tonight.